Hey everybody, Movie Reviewer Next Door here, and I'm back with another movie review. And this time I am reviewing Kate. It's a 2021 action thriller film directed by Cedric Nicholas Troyan, and it stars Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Miku Martineau, and Woody Harrelson. In this film, after she's irreversibly poisoned, a ruthless criminal operative has less than 24 hours to exact revenge on her enemies and in the process forms an unexpected bond with the daughter of one of her past victims. So, what did I think of Kate? Well, um, I think I've uploaded at least a short review of this film before because I have seen this film a couple times, and I'm trying to go back to some of the films from back then that I really enjoyed, and especially since I'm a bit depressed recently. So, wanted to uplift myself with some movies that I remembered enjoying before I get to bad ones. And I'm really close to 300 subscribers, so I kind of want to get some good ones out of the way before I get two bad ones that I'm going to do then. But I love this film. It's not going to win any awards for acting. Even though the acting is pretty good in this, it's not going to win awards for that because it's an action movie and the Academy Awards hate action movies. And I'm not counting superhero movies, those aren't action movies. This isn't going to win any awards for storytelling, as it's a story that's kind of been told before and again. And it's not going to win many awards for originality, but for what it's going for, which is a middle budget action film packed with action, enjoyable characters, a really beautiful location, and some really breathtaking action set pieces. Yes, I think this is a fantastic film. In the context of what the film is going for and what it achieved on the budget that it had, yes, I think this is a fantastic action film. Now let me get to the cast. Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays Kate, again, criminal operative. She's a hit woman. And I love her in this role. I've seen her in a lot of films. She was in 10 Cloverfield Lane, Final Destination 3, Gemini Man, Live Free or Die Hard, Good Day to Die Hard, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. She was really good in that. Black Christmas, the remake, the first remake. And yeah, I do really enjoy her as an actress, and I think this is a really good role for her. And I've seen a lot of people in the reviews on Letterboxd saying the same thing, and I agree with them. I think she is a perfect addition to the female assassin mold that includes people like Gina Davis, Jennifer Garner, Charlize Theron, even though I'm not big on Charlize Theron in these types of roles, but like, you know what I mean. And I think she does a great job in this. She really does well. I don't know if she probably has a stunt double, but a lot of the stunts look like they were her. So, I mean, good on her if she did a lot of her own stunts. That's really awesome to hear. But she was really good in the film. She really was. Miku Martineau plays Annie. She's the daughter of one of the crime bosses that she ends up going after, and she kind of gets sold out by her own people, so she's along for the ride with Kate for most of the film. She did a really good job too. She's only appeared in one other film in kind of a smaller role. It's a movie called Honor Society. I've never seen it. I just know that one of the main actors of it is Gaten Matarazzo from Stranger Things. Um, but she did a really good job here. She played the role like an actual like teenager. She wasn't annoying. Whenever she was like fangirling, it didn't feel unnatural. It felt natural to her character. And yeah, she's adorable. She works for the role. Woody Harrelson plays Varric, who's kind of Kate's handler. He does good in this film. I will say this film does not make as good of use of him as a lot of films do, and they'll I mean, again, it didn't need to because it is Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Miku Martineau's film. They really hold the film on the shoulders. They didn't really need Woody Harrelson in this film. It could have been any random actor, but I guess they used him to get funding or something. But he's fine in the film. Nothing to complain about. But yeah, this film kind of like went up on Netflix in 2021. I didn't really know much about it when it came out. I just knew that some people who in the action circuit really enjoyed it. A lot of people, of course, because every action movie nowadays is copying it. They're like, it's John Wick but female in Japan. Like, they can't just enjoy a fucking movie. It's just like when Jolt with Kate Beckinsale came out and people were comparing it to Crank 2 High Voltage. Like, oh wow, because the character shocks himself to stay alive. That's not all that Jolt is. And also, she's not shocking herself to stay alive. She's shocking herself so she doesn't break someone's fucking kneecaps. But anyway, I'll review Jolt another time in a longer video. But this film, in this film, I feel like they do distance themselves quite a bit from the John Wick type of action. It is very acrobatic, but here's the thing. I don't know why all of these movies with acrobatic action get labeled as John Wick clones. Because John Wick isn't exactly an acrobatic thing. He's not doing flips and shit. He's just like doing the psh, 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 and every so often beating a guy up or using a car. And I'm not saying I hate John Wick because I love John Wick Chapter 3. I like John Wick Chapter 1 and I'm not big on Chapter 2. I think Chapter 2 is fine for like comparing it with other action movies, it's fine. It works. It is overlong and poorly paced in the first half, really poorly paced in the first half. But like of the first three, the third is my favorite, and the first is my second, and the second is my least. But in those films, it's not really acrobatic action. It's more. It's not even Hong Kong level. People keep comparing the John Wick films to Hong Kong films, and they're not. They're not even close. Even trying to compare John Wick to things like Hard Boiled or The Killer or like A Better Tomorrow and stuff like that, even trying to compare them, I don't think that's a good comparison. But like this film is a lot more like acrobatic. She's like flipping over tables and like shooting through walls and shit and shooting from up above. Some really cool shots from that. And yeah, I think that this is nothing like John Wick. And I think a lot of people need to get better at reviewing instead of just calling everything a John Wick clone, because this is not a John Wick clone. It isn't. It's just a really, really, really well made action film. That's what it is. And again, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, she hasn't gotten a ton of action roles. Other than this, I can only think of Gemini Man, and there's a bit near the end of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which I won't spoil. But for the most part, that role was just like the wife role. And that's fine. It's fine. I don't think every actress needs to play a strong female role because not all actresses are strong females. Or strong. That's not what I meant. Not all actresses have that, like, physical strength look to them or look like they can hold their own in a battle against men or other women. So it's nice to see someone like Mary Elizabeth Winstead who actually looks pretty fucking cool in this and actually sells the role of a female badass, which is always a thing I'm looking for. But yeah, this film takes place in Japan. I don't know how much of this they filmed in Japan. I don't know because it is still around when I guess well, I don't know the exact day this came out, but like I don't know if this was like during COVID protocol shit, um, and they would have had to like film it weirdly, but it's a very beautiful, bleh, very beautiful looking film. Very nice locations they picked. There's clear anime inspiration here. There's even bits where there's Kate is sniping like at a sniper post at the top of a building or walking to a sniper post and you see Tokyo Ghoul, an anime, a scene from Tokyo Ghoul being projected onto like a building. And I know that's shit that happens in Japan. They'll like project stuff on buildings or like use the jumbotrons in very interesting ways. if you've seen on Twitter, there are a lot of very interesting ways they use them to like advertise video games and anime and shows and make them kind of 3D looking. Um, but yeah, I think there's definite anime influence because there were a lot of people. There was a WatchMojo.com top 10 or a WatchMojo top 10 list called Top 10 Moments That Ruined the Entire Movie. And number one was the car chase in Kate. Now, if you don't watch anime or don't know what anime is and the hyper stylization of a lot of action in anime, especially car chases, if you've ever seen a car chase in an anime, in a good anime, they make it very artistic. They while they're still going for the excitement of it, they still try to make it a beautiful looking thing. And that's what Kate tried to do. Yes, the car becomes CGI, but in that instance, I think it really works because this film is clearly inspired by anime. It's very clear that it's inspired by anime. Just not just that it takes place in Japan or is shot in Japan or set, but just the story itself feels very anime inspired. This and anime in anime, there's a ton of strong female characters. You have the character that tags along, that's kind of comic relief, kind of just a separate character. It does feel like a live action anime, and I liked that about it. Even though I haven't seen a ton of anime recently, I can I can really compliment something when it does an anime inspiration type of thing right. And I do think this does that. But but yeah, like a lot of people that like Watch Mojo specifically, I don't understand why one bit of a CGI car crash would destroy the entire movie. It didn't look that bad. And again, if you understand what's going for, it doesn't look bad at all. And I don't know. I just never understood a lot of the opinions of WatchMojo.com. But anyway, there are a lot of memorable set pieces in this film. There's like action set pieces. There's the bit nearish to the beginning. The car chase I thought was memorable. Um, Kind of reminded me of the car chase in Jolt, which was also really nice. There's the shootout and fight in the Tatama. I forgot what it's called, where the entire room was white and it's paper walls and shit. That was a lot of fun. Um, there's the bit in the markets where Miku where Ani almost gets killed. And you get a badass moment of Mary Elizabeth Winstead shooting the fuck out of this guy's face and then going, ah! I love that moment. Um, it felt really organic and it really worked for the scene. Um, and especially the final shootout where you got paper and shit flying everywhere. That actually did feel like a Hong Kong influence because that's something that I think is very sorely missing in the John Wick films. Like, while there is a lot of chaos and shit getting destroyed, you it I don't know, something about it doesn't feel as visceral as it does in this film. This film feels a lot more visceral in a lot of ways than the first John Wick, at least. Because that was something I was missing because I was expecting like jumping over the tables, which she doesn't really do that, and I understand she's like been poisoned, she can't exactly do all of that. But I that is something I've been missing is the heroic bloodshed type of movies that John Woo used to make and other directors like Choi Hark and what's his name that did Maximum Risk. Maximum Risk is a good movie. But yeah, it I just miss these types of films that just like there's no politics in this film. None. There's like one-off line of a Japanese character saying that he's going to kill a character because they're a half breed. That's about it, and it's not really political. It's more whatever. This is a film for people who do not want politics in their film. They don't want woke shit. They don't want people explaining their ideologies to them. This is a film for you to have fun, watch it with your friends, um, have a bit of violent fun. And this is a pretty decently violent film. And it does help the action. I do think it does hurt a lot of action films when they're not at least showing a bit of blood. And when they try to neuter it to get a PG-13, a lot of films like that kind of do suffer in a way. So, I mean, there are PG-13 action films or films with action in them that I think do good without having a ton of blood, like Payback, directed by John Woo, has a lot of really brutal kills without, or brutal scenes without having a lot of blood because it's PG-13. But still, I do recommend this film. I really do. I loved experiencing it again. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. That's a really good thing with me. And it's not that I get bored easily. It's just that the film kept up the pace. It didn't beat around the bush. It didn't try to be something it wasn't. It didn't lie about being an action movie. It is 100% a full-blooded action movie. And yeah, I hope that other people um, enjoy it like I did. So there. Um, it that was my review of Kate. If you saw the film and liked it, let me know down in the comments down below. If not, let me know what y'all want me to see, what you want me to review, and movie reviewer next door out.